Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. I want to thank you guys for stopping by and taking the time out of your day to come check out this review. I'm going to be talking today about Winter Spice. This is one of the new country candles in Kringle's Holiday 2024 lineup this year. And you may notice that there is a paid promotion label on this video. And what that means is it's signifying that I am an ambassador and I do have a brand relationship with Kringle Candle. And they gifted me this particular candle for review, as well as several others that I'm going to be reviewing in the near future here. And what I hope is that over the next several reviews, I will have the opportunity to earn some of your trust in me saying that I'm going to be honest with my opinions and my thoughts, regardless of my affiliation. And I also do want to let you guys know I do have an affiliate code that you're welcome to use if you're comfortable to do so. Simply Scented, when you use that at checkout at kringlecandle.com, it'll give you 15% off as long as the purchase qualifies. Usually it won't apply to sale items, but you'll get 15% off and I will get a small commission based off that purchase. And what I do with that is essentially just send it right back over to Kringle in the form of new candle purchases and things to talk about and share with you guys. So if you're cool with that, the full disclosure will be in my description as always. And if you have any sort of questions or concerns, please feel free to ask. Full transparency around here. But that's why that paid promotion label is there. So getting back on track, let's talk about Winter Spice. So how I usually do my reviews is I will give you Kringle's description here, their scent notes, and then I'll kind of get into what my interpretation is, what I'm smelling, and some other thoughts that I have on this particular fragrance. So Winter Spice, a radiant medley of fresh clementine and red cranberry, is warmed with a holiday blend of spicy clove, crushed cinnamon, and sprinkles of grated nutmeg. We have top notes of citrus and berry. We have mid notes of cinnamon and clementine, and base notes of clove and nutmeg. All right, guys, I've got some thoughts on this one. So right off the top, right on cold sniff impression, I was really surprised about how much of the fruitiness was coming through on that cold sniff. With the name Winter Spice, I was really sort of expecting more the spice to kind of lead the way a little bit more. And really on cold, that fruitiness was what kind of struck me the most. And I thought that maybe as I got into the burn, more of the spice would come through because it was there on cold. It was just taking more of a backseat. And sometimes that's one of those things that when you make the transition from cold to warm, you notice a little bit of a shift where, something that's prominent on cold will kind of tone down, and then something that wasn't really there will kind of bring itself to life. And honestly, guys, that really didn't happen here. I would say this is fairly balanced with fruit and spice, maybe just like a hint more spice, but really not much. And what I'm smelling here is mostly a mixture of a sort of citrus note that is heavy on the orange family. The thing that keeps coming to my mind is tangerine. And really, that was like the first thing that came to my mind when I smelled this was Yankee had a candle called Berry Tangerine many years ago. I'm probably aging myself a little bit here, but that was really reminiscent of what I was getting here with that citrus and berry note. Was a nice sort of clementine, tangerine. It's not an overly juicy citrus, just slightly juicy, just slightly sweet, but there is that hint of that tartness or bitterness to it, sort of in line with the peel of a citrus, if you think of it that way. And then for berry, they say red cranberry in the description. Personally, it doesn't really distinctly smell cranberry to me. That's not an inappropriate term to use. I don't feel like it's definitely not cranberry, but it also doesn't scream cranberry, if that makes sense. It's coming across as more of a sort of general wintry berry, sort of red berry note. to this. And like I said, I can kind of see cranberry a little bit, but it doesn't scream it. So, you know, that's the fruity piece that I'm working with here. And then you've got the spice. We've got some typically heavy hitter sort of spices here, cinnamon and clove. You know, sometimes in these spicy fragrances, they really sort of take over or overpower. Sometimes they can be a little bit harsh. And I'm really not getting any of that here. It's really a much more gentle spice. It's much more of, I feel like I've said this a lot in my reviews lately, but like a mulling spice. And really, essentially, what this whole overall fragrance is to me is, you know, it paints the picture of those winter sort of simmer pots that you might have going on the stove. So maybe you threw in some cinnamon sticks, and you threw in some clove, and you threw in some cranberries, and some orange slices, some orange peel, things of that nature. All those typical ingredients that you might use in one of those simmer pots, and you put it on the stove and you just have it sort of going through your cold winter day, giving some comfort and warmth to the room. And I mean, that's really what this fragrance smells like to me. And, you know, here's the thing, guys. I don't dislike it. There's nothing unpleasant about it. It's not unenjoyable in any way. For me, it's just really not what I was expecting. And so I think I had like a little bit of a disappointment in that. I was really hoping that because we just had cranberry crayon apple toddy that I just reviewed. If you didn't check that out, I suggest you check that out if you do like fruity sort of fragrances. That was sort of that warm, drinkable, fruity beverage with the absence of spice. And so for this one, given that there's so much fruit here, I really thought there was going to be a heavier spice presence here. And, you know, it's really not coming through that way to me. And normally when I talk about a fragrance being balanced, I'm talking about that in the pro column. But for this particular one, for me, I'm just feeling like I wanted more spice and less fruit. I wanted the spice to kind of be the star and the fruit to sort of complement and, you know, just sort of complete the fragrance, sort of, so to speak. But really, I feel like it's really a more balanced in, I guess, the con category for this particular case. So, yeah, guys, I don't know. Like, I don't want to sound like I don't like it. It's not a bad scent. It's very cozy. And if you like a more subdued spice, you don't like those heavy clove type fragrances, then this might be good for you. But you know, if you are looking for a little bit more of a spice punch, like I was, I really like a nice clove scent this time of year. Clove done well can just be really a phenomenal fragrance note. And, you know, for me, it's just not, you know, it's just not doing it for me, guys. I don't know what else to say. The other piece here I do need to comment on is performance. I told you guys I'll always be honest. This has been a little bit underwhelming as far as performance goes as well. So right off the bat, you know, it wasn't as strong on cold as I was expecting. That's usually not as good of an indicator of whether or not it will be strong burning. I've had some that are very strong on cold and then totally light burning, and I've had the opposite happen. But you know, getting into this burn, as you guys can see, I am a good, you know, more than halfway at this point into this candle, and it's never really picked up. I would put the scent range, you know, if numbers help you, between a 4 and a 6 at the most. You know, it's not unscented. It's not like I can't notice it in my, I was typically burning this in my kitchen, which is open space. You know, it's not huge, but it's not an enclosed kitchen. It is open to my living space, and I could kind of pick it up in that kitchen area, but it really wasn't traveling beyond that for a throw. It really didn't have any sort of huge dominating presence. You know, I felt like it's just kind of falling a little bit short for me, and that's just me being honest. I also think you can kind of see a little, I will try to point here, but on this side of the glass here, there is a little bit of soot accumulation, not terrible, but you know, it's been a little bit more than some of the others, so I did want to point that out as well. Um, Ironically, usually the ones that are a little bit more sooty for me are a little bit stronger, but that's not happening to be the case in this particular fragrance. So, you know, guys, I'm sorry. I don't want to be like Debbie Downer. It's not a bad scent, and I love the color of the wax. I really wanted to kind of enjoy this a little bit more. I'm a huge fan of green. I think it's underused at Christmas. Red gets a lot of the glory, but yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's just my expectation. I do want to throw in the fact that I think I might also be getting a little bit fatigued on this sort of genre of fragrances. So that may be contributing a little bit to my kind of lack of enthusiasm over this one. Um, I feel like I've had to use some sort of like cider like or mulling spice sort of descriptor in a lot of my reviews lately. I talked about it in pumpkin rum toddy, I talked about it in cran apple toddy. Here I am again. And so I've been burning a lot of that, guys. And I think I'm just sort of getting a little fatigued in that sort of category, which happens. Sometimes, you know, we have our favorites, but you have to take a break from that. Otherwise, you kind of just get burnt out. So, you know, take my review with a grain of salt. Do with it what you will. If the notes speak to you and you want something that's a little more mellow in the spice, you like a little bit more of a fruity presence in those types of fragrances, you really like that simmer pot type of scent, you know, this may be good for you. Don't let me take away from that. I always say, you guys know your preferences, you guys know what you're looking for. So, you know, every review out there, take it with a grain of salt. I'm just trying to help kind of throw things out there, help you decide if it's something that you're going to enjoy or not. So guys, yeah, that's my take on it. Again, not trying to be negative. I don't think it's a bad scent. Like I say, I didn't not enjoy it, but it just wasn't exactly what I wanted it to be. So that's my take on winter spice. I do have more reviews coming up for you guys. So if you want to get alerts for those, make sure you subscribe. And I hope you're all well. I hope you're having a great week whenever it is you're watching this video. And take care, you guys. I'll be checking in with you guys soon.